right. Take a look at what we've got here. Okay. Some movement. Stock looks a bit too cheap. Okay. Now we just wait. RGB. Oh, what do you know? Okay. So this was the stock yesterday that did this weird pump and dump move. It did actually end up resolving into something. It's interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I think we're just going to have to be patient here. It's not a lot of great movers. Arab's probably the best at the moment. Good morning. Yeah. I was thinking about how the last 2 days have gone, and since it's been really slow, at least for what I'm used to seeing, I'm going to try and be a little more patient today. Because, yeah, right now I'm not really seeing anything too great. Arab's probably the best one I saw at the moment. INEO's moving, but it's really cheap. I don't really like trading stocks around $1. So I'll probably ignore that one. As far as gappers go, SLMT's somewhat up. We got SGBX up a little over 40%. So as far as movers go, we're doing a little better than before. GNX. This one's actually kind of moving. I'll put this one on the watch list and look at what you're showing me. TYX. $71 million shares. It's a little high, but not crazy. I see what you mean, though. This does look very bullish if it can break through this like $7 range. Yeah. GNPX just rejected hard, it looks like. God. Spelling. This didn't have very high volume, though. Yeah, only like 5,000 on the first pop. It does have a news catalyst, but this volume's way too low. Yeah, I think I need to be not touching something that has low volume like this. I mean, what it says 708 is whenever this large volume came through. I had a little bit of volume come through at 7 too. Interesting that the major volume didn't come through until later. What was this break from? 660 to 7, almost 50 cents, 707. This does look pretty bullish though. These candles on the pullback were on much lower volume. This doesn't look bad. I'm a little concerned from the higher volume. This doesn't look bad though. Arab is also moving. We had a bit of volume come through in it last couple minutes. GNPX does look like it's getting volume too now. Yeah, we're getting... There's like, what the heck? I assumed there would be volume with that kind of move. Only 10,000 from 13 to 19. What the heck? What is the float on this? Oh, okay, I see. It's under 1 million. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, only 20,000 on a pump like this. This thing could flush so easily. It did have news though. just wish it had more volume, but maybe 20,000 on a sub 1 million float stock is actually okay. Arabs pulling back pretty hard. I don't know if I trust buying this. It could definitely, like, it has news and it's extremely low float, so this thing could run pretty hard. But, this thing could also drop really hard. I mean, the news is actually, it's like... The news is, it's just a presentation of data. It's not even anything, like, warranting that kind of response. It'd be more of a short squeeze play than an actual news catalyst play. Mm. This one's just been kind of stair-stepping up here. The main thing that kept me out of it was the $7 resistance plus just the higher float. GNPX is still running. It's holding up at least. This volume is very high relative to the float. I still don't really trust it though. If anything, it may be safer just to let this run and use this as confirmation for the next stock that comes out. Right? Because if this does end up running, right, we get like a move that's 100%, then that'll give me more conviction that the next stock could run 100% or 50%, make other people more bullish. Because right now, well, the big theme we were seeing yesterday was just stocks were not getting great volume. So seeing a stock get great volume could just be something we need to wait for. Bit of a pullback here. Volume on these two candles is fairly light, not terribly bad relative to the other candles. Could be a bull trap though, breaking through 7, then rejecting. I'm more bullish than bearish though. These candles aren't, this volume isn't bad for this kind of pullback. Also, we're seeing lower wicks on these, so someone's buying them as they drop. Oh, I think I'm definitely more bullish than bearish. Still a bit iffy because of the float, though. This volume isn't crazy high relative to the float. Hmm. Arab's still pulling back a bit. Yeah, it's kind of consolidating around here. I don't really trust this with this kind of volume. GMPX, let's see how this breaks down. I'll reduce size just in case I do end up trading this one. This is pretty intense volume relative to the float. I mean, this says 10.9 million. It's 1 million. A little under 1 million. VTYX is still consolidating around 7. Volume's dropped a little bit on it. Seems like it's bouncing between 7 720. I think I'm still bullish on it. Nice pop there on it. Yeah, VTYX had a good follow through there. I'm really watching to see if this does a breakdown on low volume. B8T. I mean, I'll check it out. Oh yeah, that's really low volume. Yeah, only 10, 20,000. It's also a bit cheaper too. Okay, we're getting a bit of a breakdown here. Can we see a break below 13 maybe? No. If we saw 13, I think I was going to punch it there. These 3 candles have been lower. This looks quite bullish. These candles have been really high volume. The only one that is bad is this one. But it's only one candle. This actually looks bullish to me. If we could see a return to low 13s, I think I would get in. With 1/4 size. I would want to get in here. It just feels like I'd get in a little high. So tempting to just jump in this right now. I'm gonna be patient. I want to see low 13s. Arab curling a little bit. Volume's a little lower though. VTYX is breaking through 750 right now. Yeah, this has consolidated a suspiciously long time. I don't think I would feel safe with 13 anymore. I would want like 280 or 1280. I can put that on there just to have it up. See if we have the break of 13. Actually gonna go a little lower now. Pressured 1302 pretty hard. This could be a bear trap though. Volume is fairly light compared to this. I could see me going to 50 shares here. It was pressuring right at 13 pretty hard. Aggressive seller. But it didn't break 13. $15,000, some volume. I'll put a second buy order a little lower. If we see a sudden spike down, I think that could be good. VTYX is pumping now. It's gone up 50 cents in the last few minutes. Yeah, you see it too. Yeah, GNPX did end up recovering here. It was close to a fill, about 20 cents off. I didn't want to get too aggressive on it though. Yeah, I've been a lot more patient today. I'm not really jumping in anything right away. I mean, as far as gappers go, we're still not seeing anything too crazy, right? We have one up 50%, and it's one of the pumps from yesterday. This one breaking through the after hours high could be interesting. Like I said, the fact that this one's a higher float is kind of pushing me away from it. It's just a bit harder to judge it. We had a Beyond Meat was a higher float stock that was moving too. It could just be coincidence, but that's two times that happened. GNPX making another attempt lower. I might get in here if we see like 260s. Oh, there's 260s. Yeah. I'll take a stab at it. 1/4 size. That volume is incredibly low on this pullback. Gonna look for like 13, 12. A little bit of a seller around 13. I'm actually going to cancel 13.12. Do 13.24. 13 breaks, I think it's got a good chance of popping up a bit. I say that, and it didn't. I got a sizable buyer there, if it's not a spoof. I still feel somewhat confident holding here. $13.17, we got it, cool. Nice base hit. Yeah, 1/4 size was the correct size there. This thing is higher priced and more volatile. That was the correct size. That is 10. I was watching this stock for a long time. Wow, and right after it hit that, we saw big volume come through. Cool. So I made 15. If I got out here, it'd be like a $3 or $4 loss. So I timed the bottom really well. I didn't really have a lot of risk going into that. Honestly, that was a really good setup. I liked that setup. That breakdown on very low volume. That looked good. 8. There's another stock, TELO, that's popping up. I want to check that one out here. Yep, yeah. I didn't even look at the chat. Yep, you just called it out. Okay. I swear I saw it on my scanner before you called it out. I promise. Okay, what do we got here? 7:30, News Catalyst. Reporting data. What's the float looking like? 33 and 29. So it's about 30 million. It's a little bit higher float, but it's still fairly low. Not sure how I like that. Highest volume candle is a red with a topping tail wick. That looks a bit iffy. Yeah, I don't think I want to touch that. Yeah, it doesn't look... I mean, this volume on the breakdown isn't terrible. But it just doesn't... This candle looks horrendously bad. Major seller pushed this down right here. This candle doesn't look terrible. But I don't think I'm interested in it. GNPX is pushing down even more, but looks like the volume is increased. Yeah, so I'm a little less interested in this one because the volume's been a little higher on this push down. It's not terrible to buy here, but I don't think it's quite as strong as this buy was. I'm not quite as interested in that one. Guess I'll keep watching this because it's the only thing moving. Yeah, it's a little cheaper in price. This candle looks very suspicious. I'm probably not touching this one. Just stay patient. We're 1 for 1 for the day. Whether or not this thing goes up or not is really just going to depend if the news catalyst was good, I think. Yeah, I'm just going to sit on my hands and watch this one. I don't think I want to touch it. We got Arab pulling back. Broke below 280, so it looks like that one might be done. Yeah, and it's on high volume too. I'm not interested. Could go either way. This looks very choppy, the way this is moving right now. This doesn't look bad. This is a very big push down on low volume. Right, this volume's like half of this, and it's a pretty big move. This actually looks quite bullish. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some kind of bounce to 165. There was an attempted bounce, but I was expecting a quick bounce to 165. Even hesitating for 30 seconds isn't what I was expecting. The reason I didn't get in there, even though that looked really bullish, was just this is still throwing me off. I really thought it was going to go to 165. I'm surprised it didn't even do that. This is on low volume too. This is 2 candles of bullishness now. Kind of tempted to get in with that. BATL's moving. Yeah. Yep, we both saw it at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, and we got volume on it too. Yeah, these two candles have high volume. Another potential topping tail though. Candle's not closed. It's not secured yet. Yeah, seeing this candle have high volume with this kind of topping tail, it's the same thing as TE, the one we were just looking at. I can't remember the name. Now this looks bearish. I don't like that. Oof. Yeah, I'm skeptical now, seeing how that candle closed. Wow, what a rejection. This thing gets volume, and the moment it gets volume, it just completely dies. This is not a market to be aggressive. I mean, GNPX had that squeeze, but it was on such light volume. Yeah, battles. Even if this does recover now, just seeing this on the highest candle volume was a topping tail wick. That looks incredibly bearish. TNGX, I'll check it out. I don't see that on my scanners. Offering. Uh-oh. Wait, offering? Offering and it goes up? Hmm. 21 million shares at 866. Why would this go up? What? This is weird. So this has been stretched. So maybe a short squeeze. What is this? What is this company? Tang. Is this a Chinese company? Because I remember we had something similar where they announced an offering and the stock ended up squeezing. No, Boston, okay, Boston, Massachusetts. Yeah, I've only ever seen this one other time where an offering occurred and then the stock spiked, but it was a Chinese stock, so anything can happen with them. No, that's very strange. Actually, look at the volume on this too. The volume was, so they announced an offering at 7:20. No, it was earlier. Wait, they announced their phase data. And then at 7:20 they announced the offering. But they haven't been selling. So probably there's people that shorted that are getting screwed because they saw the offering, so they shorted. And for some reason, the company isn't diluting, even though they announced it. Well, this says 20 or 225 million financing. The other one says offering. Pricing. Yeah, 866. Bolt spread. I have no idea what that is. Or a bit spread. Oh, okay. So it's I'm about to say what's a bolt spread? I've never heard that one. I've done options, but I've never heard of that. Yeah, I mean, spread's not even that big, honestly. For being a $12 stock and seeing a spread of like 5 cents, that's actually not bad. You know, I don't think the spread's bad at all. That looks normal. BATL completely died, went down to like 135. Yeah, interesting. This stock never showed up on my scanners. It didn't show up. I'm not sure why. Or what is the... Oh, that's why. Okay, yeah, there's 108 million shares. That's why. The share float. The float's too high. It didn't hit my scanners because the range. I think my scanner only goes up to like 50 or 60 million. This was just like creeping up. There's just not really any clean pullbacks. It's just like a line. And it's like, it's accelerating. I'm really worried this thing because, right, volume's climbing. This thing's not really pulling back. I feel like once this thing does pull back, it's done. Which is like the worst kind because you can't really ever safely get in it. Like, for all I know, this could be the final candle and it's actually done right now. Very high volume on this candle too. Maybe the company's starting the dilution now. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna touch this one. The fact they can be starting dilution and well, I mean, one other thing to think about too is if they were doing 866, right? When they announced the dilution, it was right at around 866. So realistically, it can only go back to where it started. Still very strange they did not start the offering after announcing it. That's very uncommon. This thing is quite extended, though. The only thing I could imagine is that maybe the report was so strong that the company knew not to dilute aggressively. That could be the only thing that would make sense to me, right? Because they announced the report 20 minutes before the dilution. Because normally, you know, normally they would dilute aggressively, but maybe they felt confident they didn't need to. I mean, I guess that's a possibility. Still, knowing that they can dilute at any point during this move, I'll be honest, it's not very reassuring. BTYX is not really... It's pulled back a good bit. Okay, are we seeing the dilution come through now? It's a pretty big volume candle. Right on the 1 minute break too. This is kind of what I was worried about happening, right? I was saying the moment you see any safe pullback, it's not really safe, right? You see the 1 minute pullback, first candle to make a new high, immediate flush. Yeah, this just looks so unsafe to me. I feel like I have like this filter on too right now because knowing that we're in this colder market, I'm just looking at everything a lot more cautiously right now. Maybe a little bit too pessimistic sometimes. Okay. VWAP and EMA. What EMA? Probably like 10 EMA, I would guess. If they're parallel... Could be institutional shenanigans. Right, because this is a higher float. Institutions would be more willing to get involved. And with the reporting data, maybe this is someone actually taking a stake. All right, we got 10 minutes till the top of the hour. No, yeah, I mean, if the market was hotter, like, I've taken one trade in the first hour. If the market was hotter, I would have taken, like, 5 by now. Like, we had some good opportunity. Like, some of these stocks looked okay. But I'm just being very picky right now. I mean, you think about what's held up, right? I mean, you go... We're seeing the same story right now. GNPX, you had this very big pump. You look at the volume, right? 20,000 on this. That's insane. And then it just didn't hold up. Arab was one. This one resolved a little better. You had, like, first leg kind of resolve. But it did pull back quite a bit, so this was still kind of messy. This was the one you had showed, UTYX. And I mean, this one still looks strong. So, like, this one is appearing to be strong. I think, yeah, the float on this one was a bit higher, though. So, like, 71 million. So, today's looking a little bit cleaner than yesterday, at least. Still very... it feels slow, though. Right? We're not seeing those 100% movers. I mean, this one's 100%, but this one was not like a... This was more of a continuation from yesterday. It wasn't really something that happened in the span of an hour. There is a difference. You can keep watching. There was this one too, right? I forgot about this one. Yeah, so this one also failed. Yeah, it feels like maybe 60% of the time it's failing. Like it's just rolling over immediately. It's still better than yesterday, but leaves something to be desired. I'm still predicting this goes back down to like 10.9, but we'll see. If this doesn't just get diluted back down, I'd be surprised. But happily surprised, because I would want to see something break the narrative to get us out of this cold stretch, but we'll just have to see. So these two candles red, both on higher volume. This still looks bearish to me, especially after this. Two very high candles, red. I'm mostly just waiting for top of the hour right now, waiting for new news to come out. The IOA, what is this? This looks, no, the volume is non-existent. Not worth it. This is probably the strongest looking stock right now, just in terms of the structure. It's a little bit higher float than I'm used to trading, but it's not like terribly high. All right, you had this push here, volume picked up. We're seeing it consolidate, volume is lower. This looks pretty bullish. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a breakout. I gave it maybe a slight edge to the upside, if I had to guess. Got a big candle of volume here. I can change my settings back. I don't think I did that. Yeah. I don't need it to be this low anymore. That was just for that one stock. It's really testing this 830 level. I'm still somewhat bullish on it. More bullish than bearish, but only slightly. The fact that it's not pulling away immediately, it's not terrible. This candle coming back on high-ish volume is great, though. If this was a lower candle pullback, I wouldn't be so concerned. But this is kind of a red flag. We'll see if it's a real one or not. I mean, this breakdown is on low volume right now. This looks bullish. Do we see a reversal from here? Bear trap, first candle to make a new low. Lower volume. I still don't have enough conviction to pull the trigger on this, though. I'm not confident enough. This still looks bullish to me. This candle was a bit bad, but this one was lower volume on the pullback. It's still a little high, though. I'm still more bullish than bearish, but I could see this going down. Really curious how it's going to play out. 2 minutes till the top of the hour, and yeah, then we'll see if anything new comes out. I wouldn't be surprised if no news comes out at the 8 o'clock mark if we see this breakout. Because it could be that people are waiting to see the 8 o'clock drop to decide whether or not to get in here. I've seen that happen before. 1 minute till the top of the hour. So we had a 1 minute high that had a breakdown immediately. The volume isn't terrible. This is actually not terribly high volume for a breakdown. I thought about punching it there at 786. Had my finger on the button for half size. It would have worked. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. All right, we'll see if anything comes up on the scanners here. NDRA is also popping up on the scanners. Go ahead and mark this one. I'm going to jump to the other one. Hey, both of these just immediately pumped and sold off. 14.4 million private placement. Massive selling pressure on the second candle. This is the same thing we saw yesterday. We saw light volume on the pump and massive volume on the sell-off. How did the other one look? LUMN. This one's inverted. This one had high volume on the pump, low volume on the pullback. So it's tapped down at 25 twice. Got ETHC. Okay, that one's just not doing anything. I don't know why that popped up. Yeah, I don't like this volume setup. I don't think I'm interested in that one. This one looks a little better, just because the volume was front-sided. I don't like how this is tapped twice, though. Launches strategic partnership. That doesn't mean anything. $7 and $6.90 looks like a good area to catch a knife if this breaks down on low volume. These candles have, I mean, yeah, these are relatively low volume candles. GNPX is running again. Had a pretty decent spike of volume. Yeah, no, like, just, not this one, the other one, though. NDRA. I'm seeing the exact same pattern where you had low volume spike, high volume sell-off. You had BATL, where it was, like, fairly light volume, and the moment we got the high volume, you have this crap happen. No, I've only taken one trade. I feel like I'm just a pansy right now, but at the same time, I mean, look at, like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm in hostile waters right now, and I'm very skeptical of things. And VTYX is the only one that's, like, been interesting as far as holding up goes. I didn't touch it because it was a higher float, but I mean, if it holds up, it holds up. Interestingly, even though the spike was reminiscent of the sell-offs yesterday, this one appears to be holding up better. I don't know that I trust it, though. I mean, 14.4 million private placement is okay, but a lot of times the terms of this placement is bad for investors. And I've seen it many times where people will see this news, they'll jump in, and it turns out that the person who got the shares at like a $1 discount, and like they got the 14 million at $4 or $3 or something. And then that person just immediately starts selling. Yeah, I saw GNPX. Saw it was running. I mean, this is really good volume, right? For a million shares. This is really good volume. I still think it's more of a short squeeze thing. It did have news at 7, but for it to have given the entire thing back and then to run a second time, it's kind of strange. But no, this is good. Green candles on high volume. That's strong. This candle, suspiciously high volume for the range it did. So this one's breaking down, but volume's still high, so I'm not interested. Keep an eye on it, though. This one ended up bouncing quite a bit, but is on very low volume. And DRA's still breaking down. This... Does it say what were the terms? Right, so 14.4 million and then an additional 9.5 million in warrants. But hype tokens. It doesn't really break down what the financing was. We got VCIG popping up here. Okay, low volume to high volume is solid. Oh, this is a death spiral. Jeez, this thing is like, look at this. In 1 year, it's gone from 4,500 to 2. So this stock is, yeah, suspicious at best. What was the news? I'll punch this here. This doesn't look terrible. I like the volume profile for these 3 candles. It's the main reason I'm in. Tried to sell half there. Trying to sell half again. Just gonna keep the sell half order. This is much more range bound than I was expecting. Gonna get rid of my sell order, move it up. If this thing moves up, it's gonna go more. Nice. Solid hit. So my reason for getting in there, I really like that setup. What went right? The volume profile for these 3 candles was excellent. So low volume on the initial pop, followed by very high volume, confirming that people were interested. Low volume on the pullback. I got in near the lows, which was a good entry, but the fact this didn't resolve for 2 minutes was making me worried. I was expecting a 1 minute high and then just we ran, but we didn't see that right away. Ended up working though. Nice. Ooh, Gian. Oof. Oof. Gian, look at that. Holy. What the heck? These are not safe markets. Alright, let me log that trade. GNP. Okay, yeah, we already saw that one. Okay. NDRA is still selling off. Okay, so it like dried up on volume and then it had a little bit more pushing it lower. Yeah, this one just kind of died. I mean, just pop and immediately died. How did LUMN look? Okay, so this one just kind of is staying where it is. Yeah. I was wondering if this would make another return to high, but the fact it struggled this long to make the move maybe showed some weakness. This doesn't look terrible, by the way. Like, it's still holding up. It hasn't given back the full extent of the move yet. But there are a couple red flags. The fact it's struggling to resolve is a little concerning. These first few candles look strong. These next candles make it look weaker. I might be interested in this stock. SCNX is popping up for me as well. This one looks like it's doing something. Oh, but it's only 80 cents. I'm not interested in that. NDRA is going lower. This doesn't, I mean, only 10,000 shares to go from 5 to 480? That looks solid. I'm a bit worried about this, though, because of the news catalyst. If this is something where they're just, if someone got financing and they're just dumping, then this sell-off is justified. And they're just doing it slowly. That's making me not really want to touch it. Oh, okay, yeah. They just announced an offering. Okay, that's what this was. They announced an offering. Okay, what was it for? 1121. Okay, so right where we're at right now. So that was just, okay, I see. So price just immediately flushed down to it. For how much? Only for 200,000 shares. Okay, short-term warrants as well for 400,000 at $11. So this is actually still kind of high. But I mean, what is this, like 700,000 total? That's overcomable. Maybe not in this market. But if enough volume comes through here, this could actually get bought up. Right? I mean, we see like 100, 200, 300,000. Like this is getting bought up. Yeah, this is giving back most of the move, but... 100,000 shares. 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 100,000 Yeah. I'm like, I have mixed feelings about this. I'm not really... There's some bullish things about it. The volume dropping as it goes down. But it's also given back most of the move. Very interesting. This is holding above the offering price. There may have been serious momentum behind this push up. Maybe shorts getting trapped. Who knows? I'm only saying that because the fact it's holding above the offering shows strength. We got 9 minutes till the half hour. VCIG looks like has died. So this one looks like it has... Looking like it has failed. NDRA also failed. Still very unsafe waters. Interestingly, they're not diluting heavily, right? Only seeing 16,000 volume a minute. Maybe they're selling 10,000 a minute. The fact that it's slowly creeping up. Very interesting. Anytime I see an offering and the price doesn't respond by going below the offering price, I always find that very interesting. Because it's counterintuitive. Very low volume on this push. Between these two, that's 20,000. I do got to remember though, right? This is a lower float stock, so this 30,000 carries more weight. At this point though, we might just be waiting for the half hour. Because I'm not even really sure what I would enter on this. I find it more just interesting to observe than anything. There's nothing really else. Nothing really else I can see at the moment that's in play. So yeah, until the half hour, I'm probably just going to be watching this. One good thing, though, is the longer this stays above the offering price, the more confidence you can have as the volume comes in that this is going to actually end up holding. Right, I'm half tempted to get in just because of how well it's holding up. We get NITO popping up here. Closing merger. Let me change my size back. Okay, we had a good first minute volume. Very, very low float, less than 1 million. $200,000. This volume is incredibly high for this stock. Gonna take a starter there, half size. Looking for a little under 5. All right, small winner, $10. So my logic there was this was an incredibly low float. We're seeing clear interest because of this very high volume, right? 300,000 each minute. That's an insanely high amount of the float. I'm getting different signals too. This one says 300,000. Thinkorswim says 900. I just assumed it was under 1 million. But even for under 1 million, 300,000 for 2 minutes is insane. And then seeing this break down on low volume, those two signals were strong enough. I think that was a really, really good setup. And half size, just because anytime you have a float that low, yeah, it's just more, it's going to be more volatile. So it did end up breaking too, so it was good that I got out when I did. Wow, that much of a move on such low volume. Sometimes it just surprises me how much of a move some of these things can make. Sometimes it just feels unnatural. Still 3 for 3 this morning. Very good hit rate. Yeah, thank you. I mean, maybe I overestimated the value, right? Because I put this as a strong setup. I saw the extremely high volume relative to the float, but it appears I got a very good exit. So I may have overvalued. I mean, it looks like it's curling, but I really expected this thing to go. And when I saw it struggling under 5, I just wanted to get out. I was thinking about selling half, but maybe I overvalued, right? Because even on the sheet, this is the nice thing about logging it immediately. You can see that I thought this was an insanely good setup, but in hindsight, maybe this was actually just like a B plus or an A. I don't think it was actually an A plus. The chart is saying it wasn't. So it's always good to notice those discrepancies. That's why I think logging the trade immediately is so valuable. You get your immediate emotional thoughts for the trade. I think there's a decent chance this runs, but seeing how volatile it is, maybe even half size is too aggressive. At least if I'm trading for the breakout. For the pullback, maybe half size is fine. One other thing actually too, GNPX, this was another low float stock and we saw this one run, so that could have made others more interested. We are at the half hour, so we'll see if anything comes out for news for the half hour. Till then, I'll just keep watching this. As far as just in the stock market, I've been trading for maybe 7 years. I mean, right, you count investing. But as far as actually trading, I was trading / gambling for like 4 or 5 years. And as far as actually developing a strategy, maybe 2.5 years. I guess that's the natural cycle for anyone in the market. They start with investing, then they start gambling, and then they actually learn to trade. After they lose money. AM EST. Good call out. I didn't. Yep, I don't have it showing up on my scans yet. Shakir's contract. It's a low float. This volume's kind of light, though. Kind of light. It's not terribly light. I don't really like how much it pulled back, though. This candle's a bit heavy. Right, very high volume on this one. This one doesn't look super attractive. Okay, I know it's a sub $1 stock, but SCNX keeps hitting on my scanner. Is it over $1 yet? No, it's almost over $1, though. My scanner keeps pinging it. Ooh. Very interesting breakdown. There was a lot of pressure at 5. Then we saw a break, very high volume, and then the very next candle, high volume, rejection. If this continues down to like 430s, I would be interested. The volume's too high, so buying any bounce here is too risky. This could just be capitulation. Everybody who buying here, bailing out, could be bailing out right here. No, it's brutal, right? I mean, what was it? GNPX, right? If you're in, so like I had 1/4 size when I was trading this, but if you traded with normal size without thinking, and then you get caught in this, where it goes from 15 to 11 in 1 minute, like you can get absolutely eviscerated if you don't size correctly. And even if you do size, I mean, I have a max share size, right? If I go to trading warnings, I can only trade 200 shares at a time, and that's a safety measure for me, right? I'm trading in a cash account. I have a shares trading restriction that I put on, and all of that's just because sizing is the biggest thing I've found will get you killed. So that's something I've really, and like leverage too, right? Because if you have leverage, then you have a bigger impulse to just trade with bigger size. That's part of the reason I'm doing this challenge too. It's just to kind of show. It's a bit awkward, the timing I chose to start, because we're in a cold market. I can't really trade it aggressive. Like I've taken 3 trades today. That's incredibly low for me. But that's just the market we're in. I mean, even now, like, nothing's showing up on the scanners for me. We had that one that was called out by Abe's, but yeah. No, I mean, there is an emotional aspect to it too, because there was one point where I was trading with 1,000 shares. Like right now, I'm trading with 100 to 200. But yeah, some of the people that trade with like 10,000 plus, I don't know how you do it. This one looks like it's kind of holding up well. We had a nice volume spike here. What was the news? UK contract. It's a bit cheaper. But yeah, I mean, you just gotta grind up slowly. Trade until you get comfortable with 20, then go to 30. Or even if 30 is too much, go to 25. It's, as your account grows too, you'll find it's more comfortable to risk more. Very nice move on this. I actually wasn't sure if it was going to break out or not. I was a bit worried because this thing, when we saw this volume come in, it didn't resolve immediately. Very, very impressive volume though. 200,000. Right, and this is like a 2 million float. This is actually not bad. It's like a 9 or 10% move right there. Could have maybe bought a micro pullback on that, but that's quite aggressive. Very, very impressive size, like 400,000. It's almost half the float. Well, it's approaching half the float. Unfortunately, this stock's just a bit cheaper than I would have liked. The setup was okay, but the volume at the time was somewhat light. This is a very good breakdown, though. This level of volume with that breakdown. Wow. Do I just snipe that? It's a little tempting. A little bit tempting to get in there. The volume's high, but it's the same as... No. No, this candle's actually bigger volume than this pop. It's not quite as bullish as I thought it was. MIA. MAIA. Okay. A little bit cheap, but not terrible. 26 million. It's got a bit higher of a float. This one isn't quite what I'm looking for. Jeez, this one is just dying. So when we had this pump, the volume looked really impressive at the time, 200,000. But then going into this where we had 600,000, then another 600,000. I'm going to actually take that. These last two candles have been low volume, but the moves have been too drastic. Go for 107. This feels like an overreaction relative to the volume. Okay, cool. Nice little hit there. Yeah, so the reason I got in that, right? So we had this massive volume. The volume relative to the move was very important there. Right? Very big move, very high volume. But then these two candles also had pretty high moving. I don't know what you call it. They moved a lot, but the volume had dropped off significantly. And then seeing it break below 1, I expected better support there. So this breaking with such little volume at the time, that felt really bullish. Even in a bearish push, you can still see bullish moves. It's only a $7 winner, but it was a $1 stock, so I could have taken double size, but that... Yeah. And you can see it was short-lived too, right? This was a bearish move that I was buying a pop on. But yeah. It's solid day though, 4 out of 4. Really good accuracy today. MAIA did end up kind of reclaiming. I was too absorbed with the other stock. I don't know if I'm too interested in this one though. Right, this one was like a much higher float. And I would be okay with this price, but this price with this float feels a bit of a challenge for me. So I probably won't trade this one. As far as scanners go, nothing really. VTYX is kind of moving again. After it tested the high of day, it came down. It's trying to curl a little bit here. Doesn't look too incredibly bullish though. Yeah, I'm a bit iffy on that one. Nothing really pops out for me. Maybe if this thing curled back up and returned to high of day, then I'd be more interested. But I doubt it's going to do that in 13 minutes. By the way, I do appreciate the two of you that did leave likes. I don't know which ones did. I haven't been asking for likes because I feel like I'm too early in development in this live streaming thing to be really asking for that. Maybe once I get... Maybe once I grow the account a bit more, I can be like, hey, look, I've actually grown the account. Give me a like. But right now, it's just... I feel like I'm in too early of a stage to be asking for that. But I do appreciate those that did leave a like. Yeah, this is a solid day. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be trading anything else because I've got like 12 minutes left and I'm not really seeing anything. I'll still keep watching just in case. But no, even a $49 return, that's great for this account. I know a lot of people look for flashy returns where like they get a 10% gain or loss, but I'm usually only aiming for like a 0.2% gain on the account per day. Like today's an excellent day. Like I'm up basically 1%. So this was an excellent day. I feel like trying to go for any home run stuff, you just risk blowing up the account. MAIA is breaking down. IBIO, what this? A little bit of volume on this. So it looks like it's retesting a high here. What's the float on this? 19 million. It's not terrible. There was news at 7. It was just participation news, though. The 19 million just kind of makes me not want to touch it. Again, it's the higher float with the lower price. You can have one or the other, but not both. Oh, we got. What's this? ENTX is moving. Positive news from a clinical trial. Okay, we had a good first pop. Pull back. $38 million, that's quite high. $230 straight to 3. Looks like there was a bit of resistance at 86. Broke through that. Good volume on this push. Double tapped at 3. Okay, pullback is on lower volume. I could have bought it 284. Be quite aggressive to do that though. The setup doesn't look terrible. It's quite a bit of selling. That's quite a big red candle as far as volume goes. I'm iffy. This candle has thrown me off. It's making me not trust it as much because of this. Somewhat high volume too on this. This could be people buying the dip, or it could be people selling. This thing almost completely rejected. Yeah, this was almost a full retracement. Float preference, it depends, right? Because there's always many variables. I mean, of course you want to have it as low as you can. I like to see at least, or at most, I prefer to see 10 million. But if there's other conditions, then it can be okay, right? Like if you have extremely high volume, that can override it. If you have an okay price, like $3, then $3 or more, that can help mitigate it a bit, right? Like I was considering taking a trade on this, even though it was 38 million, just because The volume looks strong on this, and it was an okay price. Ideally, like less than 10 million. If it's less than, I would say if it's less than 3 million, that's really good. Because I'm trying to read the level 2 in the tape. So it's actually better if there's lower volume and lower float, because then I can read the action a bit better. When you have like a 70 million share float, trying to read all the orders going through that, plus knowing that there could be people in position or in play that you can't really account for, it just makes it harder to read. 30 to 40 million is really like the limit, though. Unless there's like a very strong catalyst or you're in a hot market and you're just trading anything. Yeah, seeing these two candles be red and they're both pretty high volume, that's kind of a red flag. Also, this candle being a very massive one on low volume is the repeat we saw yesterday. So this setup is the same setup that resulted in everything bleeding down. Let's see. VIVK is moving. That one's only 30 cents. Still only 4 trades today. That's pretty low. I mean, I think this is the market where I just got to stay safe. Like I was saying, just being defensive right now. A lot of these stocks aren't even holding 30%. There's no reason to get overly aggressive right now. You have the outliers and the anomalies like GMPX, right? Where this one went like 100%. But this was less than a million share float. And it didn't hold. But yeah, it's basically 9 o'clock. I don't really think I'm going to be taking any other trades, so I'm going to call it here. Yeah, solid day today, 49 bucks. That's really solid. I'll go ahead and make the recap, just breaking down my thoughts on the market session. But yeah, I will be back tomorrow at 7 AM EST, and I will hopefully close out the week strong. You guys